What are the places you'd like to visit in your neighborhood? The salon to get your hair done, or the soccer viewing center to chill with your boys, or the mama put down the street that sells the best catfish. Well, if you're visiting any of these places, walking, cycling, or even running, we have good news for you.
And the good news is that by walking or cycling, you use over 200 muscles, burn hundreds of calories, strengthen your heart, and reduce your risk of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes.
Today, we'll be discussing the health benefits of public transportation. I am Kate Harmony.
I am Obafemi Craig. We start off first with the news update. Here is the news on Lamata FR. The Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority Lamata has appealed to motorists making use of the mile 12 to Ikorodu stretch of the road to drive with caution. The appeal becomes necessary in view of the high rate of crashes witnessed on the road. In a statement, Lamata explained that the state government and the contractor were committed to the completion of the project within the time allocated to it, and admonished that while construction was still on, motorists were expected to ensure a crash-free construction zone by following diversions and other traffic signs on the road. It assured on completion that the road will cut travel time, reduce emission, offer affordable transport system that is clean and safe, enhance the lifestyle of the people, and promote a cleaner and livable environment. Abstinence from sexual activities and protected sex remain the sure ways not to contract HIV/AIDS. Contract workers building the bus rapid transit BRT terminal have been told. A registered nurse from the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Ms. Adetun Alawi, stated at a health, safety and environment seminar organized for workers of Artidov Nigeria Limited handling the construction of the terminal. Ms. Alawi also spoke on some misconceptions about HIV/AIDS while advising that they should stay with one partner, have protected sex, as well as go for HIV tests to know their status. She also admonished them to maintain the highest level of hygiene as a way of staying safe from the dreaded Ebola virus disease. That's been the news update.
Basically, what Lamata does is to coordinate public transportation in Lagos State, and we came up with a transport master plan.
Developed together with the World Bank, the objective of this plan is finding long-lasting solutions for the problem of transportation in Lagos. Currently under its first steps of development, the plan has already proven itself a big success, dramatically increasing the connectivity in a city in continuous expansion and enjoying an unparalleled demographic and economic growth.
Our responsibility is to ensure that we provide the necessary infrastructure to meet the growth, to improve the quality of life, to improve the standard of living, and to make Lagos a vibrant and livable city in years to come.
Lamata, think transport.
You're welcome back to the program. Today we are looking at the health benefits of public transport.
An interesting topic, but many people do not realize that a walk down the road or a bicycle journey is equal to a session in the gym. Let's hear it from the experts. Our guests, Dr. Frederick Oladende, Technical Advisor, Planning Lamata. You're welcome. And Dr. Uzo Otapo, a medical officer with Orile Agege Primary Health Center, Agege, Lagos. You're also welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. How does public transport affect the well-being of an individual? Is there any relationship?
Well-being, as we all know, is the general condition of an individual, be it the social, the economical, be it the medical condition of the person or group of individual. Now, if we are relating it to public transportation, we could say that in a place whereby high quality public transportation, we could see that an individual would move from his destination to the place he would take public transport. Thereby, there is a form of exercise, physical activity that individual would go through. Exactly. And hereby it contributes to the health status of the individual. When we undergo physical activity, thereby we are not prone to being obese, which we could say that most of our society today, most people are obese, of which it will definitely contribute to various diseases. Apart from that, we could also consider the air pollution that would encounter with our daily automobile vehicle if we as an individual take our different vehicle to work, thereby causing air pollution all over, which is not beneficial to our health. But with transportation, public transportation, high quality one, the incidence of accidents are reduced,
will be minimal,
which is beneficial to our health, and we do not have a high case of casualty.
Okay, we're aware of the Strategic Transport Master Plan, but we want to know, are transport infrastructure designed to accommodate or even encourage non-motorized transport?
At present it is, but let me just say that in the past, the problem has been that we isolate or we appraise project in isolation.
Okay.
A good example is when you build a road, that's a separate project. The pavement is a separate project. Or let's take another example, which is the public transport. So actually providing public transport is one project. Providing the stations or looking at how people to get there is a separate project. But what you need to do is to bring them together. So if you look at the Strategic Transport Master Plan right now, we combine the whole project as one. So when you're providing public transport, we need to look at where people are coming from, how they will get to use the public transport infrastructure, and then when they get down at their destination, how they get to the final destination. So we've got to look at public transport, we've got to look at how they get there, which is either through cycling or maybe providing walkways. And a good example is the WEMCO project, which we are promoting right now. If you look at the WEMCO project, we have a cycle lane,
yes,
and we also have a walkway. And the plan is to extend that cycle lane so that we can have a network.
All right, we cannot talk about transportation without talking about pollution.
That's correct.
Now, in your view, what can be done to mitigate the effects of pollution?
The best way to reduce pollution is to promote public transport. And the best way to make public transport attractive to people, because, I mean, if you look at the third world, people see those that use public transport as the poor people, and then the rich people use cars. So we need to, beef up the public transport image in a way. And the best way to do that is to develop an integrated multimodal public transport, that would attract people from their cars. And it might shock you to understand that, to know that, the car driver per kilometer emits the highest number of carbon dioxide. For example, a car passenger emits 2.5 times a downfall driver or a downfall passenger. They emit 8 times more than a BRT passenger and 15 times more than a rail passenger. So you can see that if we have a lot of car passengers, you can begin to understand the amount of carbon dioxide that is emitted. But when we can transfer them to public transport, another example is that one BRT can take 40 cars off the road. One train with six cars can take 500 cars off the road. So promoting public transport is in the best interest, to reduce carbon emission.
What can be done to hasten the implementation of the transport plan? Because Lagosians can't wait to reap the benefits.
Obviously, I mean, all these things, they come with, you know, we need funding to actually promote slow mode. But what the government is doing right now is to create an environment where the private sector can come in and participate in the provision of infrastructure as well as services. So using the private sector to raise capital and to bring in the efficient management would help. I also need to say that we need to pay our taxes because the government needs money to actually, you know, develop this infrastructure. It's very important that we pay our taxes so that we can benefit from the infrastructure that the government is providing to improve our quality of life. And the most important one, and this is something that I see around in Lagos in particular, is the fact that we need to guide and to protect our infrastructure. A good example is the BLT. We spent a lot of money, you know, replacing maybe bus shelters.
Okay.
The money that we use in replacing bus shelter can go into providing other infrastructure. So we need to guide what the government provides, because at the end of the day, it's being provided to improve our quality of life.
There have been calls for collaboration between those in the transportation field with those in public health to promote research into more topics as air pollution, safety, physical activity, and access to goods and services that support healthy living. What is your take on this?
Yes, I think it's a good collaboration. If we look at each topic, like air pollution, you can see that air pollution from our cars, we have those air pollution that comes in the production of fuel and the distribution of fuels. That's a form of air pollution that comes in that is even beyond the emission of carbon monoxide from our cars, which also significantly contributes to the air pollution in general, which we know that is all injurious to our health, either in the long time runs or in the short time. So that is a known fact. We also know about our tires, whereby there are pollution that emits from the tires that rides on our roads, whereby dust from the ground, whereby when the tire moves, everybody rides his own automobile and we emit gas, we emit dust, which also contributes to the air pollution. That even the brake lining in our car is also a source of air pollution, which all this we will tend to tell people to indulge in public transport, so that we could see that there's health benefit over other individual will be on his own automobile vehicle. Now, in regards of safety, we could talk about, when we talk about safety, public transport, high quality transport transportation is safe in regards to the fact that the vehicles, they go at a particular speed limit, on comparing to other automobiles, where everybody can just go at any
speed they like.
Speed limit, and the coverage mile is calculated and is limited, because you know that okay, this high quality transport system would go at this have this miles to make in a particular day. But automobile, we just keep on using the car, even the limit we are supposed to maintain.
We exceed it.
We exceed it.
Physical activity?
Physical activity is a great one, because most of us don't know what benefit physical activity does to our body. It is known that as an individual, we have to have a moderate physical activity, at least 22 minutes in a day. Which could be assessed into 150 minutes weekly, meaning that, okay, as an individual, you are expected to have this amount of activity, but most of us do not observe, because most of us have our own individual vehicle. We hardly have time to exercise at all. And what is the benefit of exercising our body? It is known that it is those that exercise that will have a reduction in weight. And if we don't exercise, we get obese. And this would contribute to so many diseases. Diseases such like hypertension. Hypertension is rampant everywhere and is a silent killer. Nobody knows except you go to the hospital to check your blood pressure. We also have osteoporosis, which affect the joints. You understand? When you don't exercise properly, those joints get to degenerate, and with time, it becomes a problem. Also, there are some particular cancer that have been associated with less activity. Okay. Such cancer include colon cancer and breast cancer. This could also be associated to less activity. Then we also talk about pains, generalized body pain. Those that don't exercise, they come to have joint pain and then back pains. All these are necessary. All these are important, which we need to observe.
So which means there must be this effective synergy and collaboration between the transportation, those on transportation field and the public health workers.
I think to add to what is also said, public transport users perform 3 times more rigorous activities than car users. And so you can, because they have to walk to the station, they have to walk to their destination, and they're more relaxed even when they're on the bus. They're more likely to read or talk to their friends. So the anxiety level is less than when you have to, mingle among traffic, etc. So, yeah, exactly. Traffic. So you can begin to see the benefits, the health benefit as a result of using public transport in comparison to using cars.
So we'll take a break here and we'll return after this time out.
You're welcome back to the program. We have been discussing the health benefits of public transport, and I know you can't wait to burn a few calories if you haven't started yet. You're welcome to the program. So I'd like to take your questions and comments.
What measure would the government be looking at to discourage a normal individual on the road with a vehicle so as to be able to go more for the transportation in Lagos State?
For public transport. Dr. Fred.
That's a very interesting question. There are a few measures that we're putting in place. Apart from the non-motorized transport aspect that we're putting in place to ensure that people can get to stations, we are also looking at areas where we can do park and ride, so that in a situation where you can't get to the station as easily as possible, you can drive to these centers, park your cars, and then hop on the bus or train. Secondly, we are also looking at some push measures where we bring in road pricing. So if you're going to use the car, you pay for it. You pay for using the road. So people would pay, and that might discourage some people and maybe get them onto public transport. But there are a few measures that we're putting in place: the non-motorized transport aspect, the park and ride, as well as making sure that people pay if they want to use the road. And all these, this combination would encourage some people to move from private cars to public transport.
My question goes to the doctor. In a popular setting, you talked about 2 minutes walk before you can catch a bus within the BRT station. But in the station where we have 200-300 people standing, commuters, in a bus station, then you are in a queue while you talked about 2 minutes jogging or exercise. Then what is the benefit of you standing and then you break? Then you go back on the queue of 200-300 people. Is it a health benefit to individual or what?
Thank you for that question. But I said 22 minutes daily aerobic activity, not 2 minutes. 22 minutes, that 22 minutes is a daily activity which could be spread out. It might not be done in a particular time and a particular position. So invariably, standing is a form of activity. except if you have any medical challenge. Understand? If you have any medical challenge, that would now say, okay, maybe you have osteoarthritis, severe osteoarthritis, or maybe you have a spinal cord injury that would not allow you to stand for a very long time. You are exempted. But if you are okay, you are normal, that exercise at that particular time would be beneficial to your health, because I don't think you are going to spend so much time before the bus will come and pick you up. So it will be of health benefit to you.
If you haven't started walking or cycling or jogging yet, this is a good time for you to start. Thank you very much for being a part of the program today.
With your experience as a technical advisor Lamata Planning, what is your final thought on the topic?
One thing I want to say is that the government has invested in a strategic transport master plan. And the idea is to invest in public transport so that we can improve our quality of life. And what I want to encourage the commuters to do is to embrace this infrastructure. The infrastructure is there for you to use to improve your quality of life and so that you can have more time to do other stuff. So let's embrace it. Let's guard the infrastructure so that the government doesn't keep replacing the same infrastructure before its due date. And then we can all have a better quality of life. And then maybe then the average lifespan in Nigeria will go up from 47 to maybe about 80.
Or 100.
Or 100.
Can we have another view from the medical angle, please?
As a parting word, I would say the public should embrace public transport system as an individual and as a community in general, because the health benefits cannot be overemphasized, as earlier said. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being a part of the program.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Pàtàkì ọ̀rọ̀ wọn àlejò wa lórí ètò wa tòní ni wípé àǹfààní tí ó dára púpọ̀ wà nípa lílo ọkọ̀ èrò. Wọ́n ní tí a bá ń rìn, tí a bá ń sáré, tí a bá ń gun kẹ̀kẹ́ tàbí tí a bá ń gun ọkọ̀ èrò wọ̀nyí, wọ́n ní yóò mú kí ara wa dúró pépé, yóò sì mú àwọn àìsàn kúrò ní ara wa, àwọn àìsàn bíi ẹ̀jẹ̀ ríru, àìsàn ìtọ̀ ṣúgà, àìsàn sísanra jù, àrọ̀mọléegun àti oríṣiríṣi wàhálà tí a máa ń rí tí a bá ń wọ ọkọ̀ tiwa.
Our guests them don't talk say better day for public transport. If you dey waka, if you dey run, if you dey use bicycle or you dey use public transport, it go help balance your body. Common sickness wey dey like high BP, diabetes, overorobo, what Igbo people dey call obesity, plus all the stress wey dey when we dey drive our own motor all the time.
If you couldn't be part of the audience, it doesn't mean you are not a part of the show. You could reach us with your questions, comments, suggestions, and observations on any of the following. Edward Stanley once said, those who have no time for exercise will have to make more time for illness.
So make time for exercise. Take public transport. Lamata.
Think transport.
Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian